How about now? Now there's sound. Now there's sound. Okay, so for those of you, now you have sound. You had no sound there, Phil, because I turned the sound off because the last time I was using OBS's software, I had to turn the sound off because I was sending an extra signal to Howie Carr's studio, so I had to kill that. So I'm glad you picked that up, Phil. There was no sound because there was no sound. But those of you who are watching the video, I apologize. I should be embarrassed. I'm not anymore. I'm too dead inside to be embarrassed. But that was Tom Shattuck's error. Now tell me, you should be hearing the sound just fine. There you go. Thank you, Phil, for flagging that. Okay. The part you missed, which you can hear in audio, was talking about the main wire stuff. But I do want to say this bit. My son, there's two bits that happened today. One's from my son, and this is bits that were not received well, which is just terrible. These are crimes. By the way, usually if you're just watching for the first time, thank you, Phil, Julie. If you're watching for the first time, if you come in from the main wire from Jerry's show, it's usually better than this because usually my wife is running all this stuff. She's very competent and very pretty, and she's a nerd in those things. Those things go away when she's not here. But okay, so listen, I need your take on these. Two different bits. One was my bit, one was my son's bit. So he tells me he's in school today, and hold on. Okay, so he's in school, right? In science class, and he's got this little table full of like water animals, like little crabs and things. Anyway, in the little terrarium thing, there are crayfish. There's two crayfish, right? In one crayfish is a lot bigger than the other. So overnight or something, the big crayfish killed the little crayfish. And so the teacher was like, "Oh, guys, so bad news. This happens in nature. Sometimes the bigger crayfish will kill the little crayfish." And my son raised his hand, and the teacher said, "Yes, James." And he said, "Should we call him O.Cray Simpson?" Come on. Not bad. O.Cray Simpson. I had to hear it twice. The first time I was like, "Is this about the Simpsons?" And I said, "Say it again, James." And I realized it's O.J. Simpson. And that's a good bit, but he said it fell flat. No laughing from the teacher. No laughing from the students. Just nada. Just missed like a lead balloon. So now listen to this. And this is where I need Alice here. Because, so I got to go, like I told you, today's ski club. Well, like I told you guys listening, but not on video because my mic was off for the first 4 minutes. I got to drop my kids off at ski club. So I got to go to the elementary school and pick up my a 10-year-old. And I've got the 12-year-old, James, who you've just met. He's already in the car. So we go, I go pick up my son. And I have to go there. And there's this woman with a walkie-talkie in the front of the school. And my job is to give her the name of my child. And then she walkie-talkies it. And they goes to other people with walkie-talkies. And they produce my child. So I'm in the front door, and she said, "Oh, hi." Oh, she's very cute, by the way. She's very pretty and blonde. And so I like her interaction. And she's there's something about blonde women in winter when they're wearing their puffy jackets and like their scarves and things. It's a great look for them. It really is. So anyway, believe me, I wasn't perving on her. So listen to this. Thanks, Dan. Loving the Tom and Craig show. I appreciate that. So listen to this. So I walk up to her and she said, and she's trying to remember the name of my son. And she said, Anderson Shattuck. And I said, no, it's Anson Shattuck, but you know what? I'll take whoever you got. Thought it was funny. Nothing from her. Yes, can you send Anson Shattuck in? It's like, wow. Two great bits today. Didn't take. But listen to this move that I made. By the way, I am not this fat. I can see myself in this. I am not this fat. This is how this camera looks. This is bowl. Is that you right there? Is that this? I'm not that fat. Ass jerk camera. Make me thinner. So anyway, then I stole my son's bit and said it to the other son. about the crayfish, and he thought it was funny. So I stole his and got some stolen valor for that one. But come on. 2 bits just don't land at all? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Get better. Okay, so this is what I want to get to. There's some great stuff happening in Washington, D.C. Some good drama is happening in D.C. And I've got some sound I just want to play on it. They had Keith Ellison, who's the corrupt attorney general from Minnesota. He was in the ground floor of all the George Floyd stuff. He's just a corrupt guy, and he's he's taken some money from these Somali groups who are running frauds in Minnesota. And so Josh Hawley got him on it today. Josh Hawley put him on the spot about it today. And this is this is good fireworks. I understand a lot of this is theatrics. Some theatrics are better than others, and I thought Hawley stuck it to him. I think Keith Ellison should be in jail.
The $9 billion in
Minnesota.
Historic.
I'm hearing me. Hold on. I got to shut off my rumble. Hold on. Once again, new at this. You be quiet there, Tom. Okay, are you ready? Get ready. This is going to knock your socks off. Here we go.
The $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone. You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
Every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's take a look.
You
said, it's not a question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who was investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who were investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please. We're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry-picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help them?
You let me answer, and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth, and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have my team. My team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not.
No, because it was a federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about.
Oh, love it, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office.
They
solicited money from you. They solicited help from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes.
They did go to his office. This is all. He's got all the receipts.
And they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about.
That's a lie.
Money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
nice.
Was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor just
for the record.
I'll ask how I want to.
He's lying, and that's
nice. Nice. I'm all for it. The guy's an absolute crook and a dirtbag, and good. Rip him, rip him, rip him. I am all for it. There's more with Ellison. This is him with Bernie Moreno.
If you enter the country illegally or you overstay a visa, should you be deported?
My simple answer is, sir, it depends.
Okay, so if somebody breaks into your home, should they be arrested for breaking and entering, or does it depend?
It's an entirely different scenario.
How's that?
Because immigration is essentially a civil, and breaking into my home is a criminal matter.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's laws that should be enforced, so we shouldn't enforce civil violations?
We absolutely should enforce them.
But you just said that it's a civil matter, so it's different. So if somebody
you enforce civil matters.
So if somebody commits a civil infraction, it shouldn't be enforced?
It should be.
Okay, so they should be deported.
No, they should have due process that is associated with their petition. So, for example,
so the act of entering the country illegally, you think we should say, well, did you really do it or not do it? It's pretty obvious that they did, right?
Well, I mean, it would depend on the facts of the situation, and then they might say...
I just gave you the facts.
Right.
They entered the country without permission.
But, Senator, what if they had a good faith basis to say they would be persecuted in their home country and subjected to real oppression there? Under international law, there are provisions for them to make a case.
That's a phenomenal point. Mexico and Canada, do you consider those to be safe countries or no?
Generally, I do, but there are certain
generally you do?
Well, I mean, I would just say this.
You border Canada. Don't insult your neighbors to the north.
No, I love my neighbors to the north.
Well, so is it a generally safe country?
Generally, yes.
So then somebody seeking asylum could certainly be safe in Canada and Mexico, no?
Here we go.
Now, so like if somebody, we do know that in Mexico, which is another country I truly admire and think it's a wonderful country, but there have been cases of persecution, people who have legitimate fear.
So people aren't safe in Mexico? Refugees cannot be safe in Mexico?
Some might not be. And I think, and what I'm saying, Senator...
Maybe we shouldn't have a free trade agreement with them then.
I didn't say that, but what I would say, Senator, is that we should hear their petition. Gotcha. We should at least hear it out. We should say, is there a well-founded and legitimate fear of persecution in your home country?
That can't happen in Mexico?
Well, I think that she should just follow the international protocols that existed. And
it is, which is that you seek asylum in your nearest country that you are seeking asylum in. But it sounds to me that your answer is no. Mr. Snell?
There we go. That is great. That's Bernie Moreno. I didn't really know much about him beforehand. Let's go. Ron Johnson, who Alice and I saw last year in Connecticut, along with Brett Weinstein. Ron Johnson versus, this is really a cogent point here because these progressives are getting people killed. The nurse guy and the lesbian poet would not be dead if it weren't for people like Keith Ellison.
I, as a government official, would have said, back off. Let us work with ICE. Let's cooperate with them. Let's see if we can't de-escalate this. But Attorney General, you did the exact opposite. And 2 people are dead because you encouraged them to put themselves into harm's way. And now you're exploiting those 2 martyrs. That was a tragedy. It never should have happened.
Correct.
Now, we can investigate, but I can't imagine being a law enforcement official where I know my colleagues have been shot at, their vehicles rammed, that there are trained activists deployed. And by the way, we know at least one of those activists had a semi-automatic pistol with extra clips. So now you're an ICE officer, you're doing enforcement action, you've got a team behind you trying to protect you, you've got all these trained activists behind you. Is it any wonder they're at hair trigger alert? A tragedy was going to happen, and you encouraged it. And
Now, by the way, I do acknowledge that all three Republicans here, this is grandstanding, and this is made to be on video and for fundraisers and all that stuff. It also sometimes just happens to be true.
you ought to feel damn guilty about it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, sit there and smirk. Smirk. It's sick. It is despicable.
Are you asking me for comment, Senator? Because everything you said was untrue. It was a nice theatrical performance, but it was all lies.
Senator Hassan.
It absolutely was true. They were all telling these people to get out there. Absolutely. The left told them to get out there. Waltz told them to get out there. Jacob Fry told them to get out there. The media tells them to get out there. You wanted them to get out there and tackle with law enforcement because you want to see them die, and it happened.
You disgust me.
That's Johnson saying you disgust me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, there's one more I think that I want to get to here. And this is, here he is, is that the last one? Let me just make sure. Okay, here's Ellison saying what the real problem is that there's historical context for all this, and this is just weak.
It felt like our state was targeted, blanketed with paramilitaries everywhere who were approaching citizens, non-citizens, whoever. It felt like
Might have felt like that, but it wasn't that.
we were being occupied by the federal government. And I started returning, Senator, to reading about how the Boston Massacre, how did those Bostonians feel when a faraway government in England had imperial troops marching all over their city, harassing and abusing the citizenry? That's kind of how I felt. It felt like our state.
Yeah, it's kind of like I felt. That's why he's a dirtbag. You are enfranchised in the federal government in this country. You have federal representatives who are in Washington, D.C. working on your behalf. You have opted in if you are a state in this country. For him to say that it's an occupying force with the Boston Massacre, which, by the way, the colonists were causing a lot of trouble by throwing stuff at the British regulars. It's just so incredibly weak. But he's a dirtbag. Nothing will come of it. He should be in jail. He's just some of the people who should be in jail. Next point of business. Allison, I didn't play this. I thought I did. Here's Cardi B, by the way. She's a tough guy when it comes to ICE. This is her.
ICE come in here, we're going to jump their asses. Bitch, I got some bear mace in the back.
Bitch, if ICE come in here, we're going to jump they asses. They ain't taking my fans, bitch.
They ain't taking my fans, bitch. Let's go.
I don't know what she does. But anyway, there's Cardi B. They successfully, stupid lefties now successfully think that ICE are Nazis. And I've got people, I've got Minifans and other people who agree with me on a whole bunch of things, just saying local police can't help with them. It's abhorrent what ICE is doing. No, it's not. No, it's not. They're not indiscriminately doing anything. You're getting harassed by people trying to do the law enforcement that the laws say they have to do. Oh, God. All right. Okay, you got her. I want to get to some... okay, here's Harry Enton on... The Democrats, of course, are pushing back on the voting thing. Harry Enton...
The results from that special election, that Democratic primary in the 11th District in New Jersey, speak to a larger point within the Democratic Party, and that is that the far left is significantly more powerful than they once were. This sort of gives.
Actually, that's not the right Enton thing. That's showing that an all-time high 58% of voters say the Democratic Party is too liberal. Let me get to the Scott Jennings thing, because Alice says we didn't play this last night, and I trust her. I think. Do I trust her? But I'm going to play it anyway. This is Scott Jennings on the SAVE Act, which is an act that passed Congress last night, passed the House last night, that is trying to verify that illegals and people ineligible to vote are not voting. So here is Scott Jennings has to go up against a whole panel of people who say that anytime you're doing that, it's racism or worse. And this guy goes to battle with the entire panel. This is excellent.
He is actually championing a bill that actually would take voting rights away from a lot of black people in this country.
Wait, what voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look,
by the way, the sentence "there are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data" is all you need to hear. Yeah, it's a rubbish, lady.
Look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters. It's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this. When you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID... The reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
It's not.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote, 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters
the
are
SAVE
too
Act
dumb to know what's good for them? I mean,
it sounds pretty,
condescending to me.
The SAVE Act is not
three-quarters of black voters
That's not
who want voter ID.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about ideas. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't. I actually.
It also makes it very hard for married women who change
I was just going to say. We talked about this before. It's not.
That was Anna Cabrera back there saying it's for married women who change their last name. Oh,
red
shut
state
up.
voters,
Such BS.
women. Poor white voters could be just as.
I know you think they're dumb too, don't you?
Young
I mean,
voters.
that's the thing.
Nobody
I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
No, please don't. No, you listen.
There's a deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism.
By the way, I love that too, and it's going to women who change their names aren't going to be able to have ID. Women who change their names have all the things everywhere, and already make accommodations for themselves to vote, to get credit cards, to go to concerts, to go to. Like there's nobody victimized by this.
I'm actually talking. You should be thinking about your constituents or your.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote. Abby.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate.
Challenge. I challenge that. I have access to a birth certificate. I have birth certificates around here. Alice and I, through the years, have needed birth certificates for this or that or that or this. We've got them for us. We've got them for the kids. Alice probably still has a passport. I don't have a valid passport anymore. They don't have access. Oh, there's no problem with access.
Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional proof.
Isn't it amazing that these people never take it any more than one layer deep? And so Scott Jennings goes in there and reads about the issues and realizes, oh, I see that this is not a problem for women whatsoever, and that he's got 4 layers to their 1. It's not as if he's like a genius. He's just not dumb in facile.
That they've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am, and
as
the substance
opposed
is
to
this.
making this about something that it's not.
You're saying,
it's not just about voter ID. It's also about
black
who has
voters
access
and rural people are too stupid to figure out how to register to vote.
No, that's not.
That is not what
Democrats have been making this argument all week. It's crazy.
That is not what she said.
Of so offensive. Shut up, dude. We're out of anything being offensive. That's what you're saying. You're saying that some people are too stupid. You're not, but some people are.
Let me offer the proof.
Let me offer the proof.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
It is a fact that a majority of Americans do not have passports. Many Americans, including white people, okay, do not have their original birth certificate or access to it.
You didn't say what, you said rural.
I would love to offer the proof on this.
Yeah, because that is also relevant. It doesn't matter to me where.
It's a problem that the elites are imagining is out there. They simply don't want there to be safeguards for voting because they want to steal elections. That's it. It's as simple as it is.
I guess I have a little more faith in
do they have
rural
access?
America and married women than you do.
Look, I don't know why you think why you're making this about whether you're smart or not.
You're saying that they can't vote, that they can't figure out how to document to register to vote?
Access to documentation of proof of where you were born or proof of citizenship is an additional thing that people
because
will
at
have
one point,
to do.
black people actually weren't even allowed.
It's a barrier.
Additional thing that you have to do. By the way, this bill's going to die in the Senate anyway. But additional thing that you have to do. You already have to do it. If you're going to do anything in this country, you already have to do it. You can't get your license without some. Well, I mean, who knows these days? Unless you come over the border illegally, you need core documentation in this country. What's the problem? Now, the wisdom of the bill, like politically, probably went a little too far to pass the Senate. But like this, to fight the core argument that people can't figure this out is the right thing to do. And Jennings is absolutely right to be doing it. Oh, man, that panel. You know, the great thing is he now says he's so comfortable, Jennings, that he says whatever the F he wants. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. Fire me and kill my contract and wait to see how quickly somebody else picks me up for big money. Let's check out the chat. Loving the Tom and Craig show. Danny from Billiker already says that. Yeah, thank you. I love it too. I like working with Craig. Splash says, Tom's a good-looking dude. He's fat and pink textured. I am fat, indeed. I don't know how pink I am really. This lighting is bull crap. The whole Klieg light is on me over there. You guys can't see it. It's a big Klieg light over there. It's on me. I am not this fat. Splash says, based on everything I've read, Dems' talking points are that Josh Hawley ran away from the Capitol on January 6th. So anything he says is garbage. Make that make sense. Yeah, it's BS, but the moment they find something they think is a successful meme, they're all for it. Remember Taco with Trump? Trump always chickens out. Like anything, like Swalwell level that they think is funny. Splash says, doesn't Keith Ellison beat women? I didn't know that about him, but Tim in Canton says yes. Splash says the SAVE Act isn't about just IDs. It's about proof of citizenship. She thinks that's a good argument against it. Also, your BC is available birth certificate at the town hall and city you were born with. Yes. Yeah, we've had to get them for all sorts of stuff, and it's not actually hard. As a matter of fact, it's not actually hard. And our kids were born in all different towns because we used to use the birth center, and then we didn't, and then then regulations killed it, I should say. Let's see. I want to go to our next farm and extract, as George Capalba would say. Let me see. Let me go right over here to my next thing that I want to get to. Alice had sent me something I want to do. Oh, yeah, Alice had sent it. This is RFK Jr. This is, I don't know if this is new, but I like it.
You know, I mean, for me, I said this when we came in, and I said, I don't care what happens. I'm going to a meeting every day.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And I know this disease will kill me.
Right.
Like if I don't treat it, which means going to meetings every day, it's just bad for my life.
I don't see the problem whatsoever. Didn't you ever do anything like one thing I used to do wasn't drinking, but when I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was tough for me to get them when I was younger. When I was a young guy, I worked on a cruise ship for a while, and I was like embarrassed to like try to buy cigarettes because people knew me and I was underage. I was like 15, so I would just go to usually it was the movie theater and grab half-smoked cigarettes and just smoke them. And I wanted to enjoy the smoking more than I was grossed out by it. But I think we've all done that. There was a time, too, in the 90s where we just didn't have money, a group of us, but wanted to go out to try to find women. So we'd like kill a bottle of $3 wine each at my apartment and then head out to bars and just finish drinks that were left around. It was inglorious. There's no doubt about that. And I remember specifically doing that repeatedly at the Kells in Brighton. But any port in the storm, desperate times, what are you going to do? I never, had a tryst with a dude by a dumpster for $10 or anything. Although some of you, I think I did. Well, I guess Paul, in a sense. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me get to my next drink. Where are you, George? Okay. The next thing I want to do. The bisexual in the Olympics I don't really care about. Oh, yeah. This is great. This one I was really hoping Alice would be here for. Listen to this chick here.
Hi, friends. If you didn't know, I am getting married in June, and I've been doing some wedding planning. I just sent out a big group message to our bridal party of all of the things that they need to know, but I included in it our big disclaimer at the end, which is also going to be going on our website for our guests. And so I wanted to read it to you because we live in really shitty times right now, and if you're planning a wedding right now, it's rough. I'm genuinely like, am I even going to make it to the wedding in June, or is the world going to implode before then? But anyways, I wanted to share this little disclaimer with you in case you were looking for a way to share with your guests that you don't want bigots at your wedding. All right, here we go. It says, we have an absolute zero tolerance, that's in all caps, policy for bigotry of any kind. That includes homophobia, transphobia, racism, sexism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, any of the sorts. We are proud to be a couple with a diverse demographic of people that we love. This is a one-strike policy.
F you, lady, and your pussy boyfriend, too, fiance. Can you imagine? No racism, no jokes. We have a one-strike policy. We're not doing this. First of all, this lady, her boyfriend, her fiance is a puss for the ages. So you know that there's going to be that means all the groomsmen are also pusses too, if any of them show up, if he can get anything to show up. It also means that she and the bridesmaids are awful human beings. It also means there ain't no open bar happening at this wedding, which is half the reason, 75% of the reason to ever go. Two, why would you want to see these people, these lecturing people, get married? I want to see them get divorced. I want to see them fall out of an airplane or something. Never. It would be the worst wedding. Well, or you could do, and I've had friends, and maybe some of you guys are like this, who will make an assessment of a situation and decide that the party in power deserves to be punished. So let me say this sensitively, because this is something that happened in 1995. We were out at a bar, a bunch of us, and this real, kind of dickhead. We needed a place to go after the bar was going to close, okay? This is 95, so I'm 23 at the time. We're all in our 20s. So this guy is he spoke like this. All right, and we can go back to my house, but you guys, you really need you to be quiet if you go there, because my roommate has finals tomorrow, so I really need you to be quiet. Now, some of you listening were there that night, so you know this is true. And so we're he keeps, as we're walking to his house, and it's 10 minutes, you guys really gotta be quiet. My dude really needs to study, and he really needs to get his sleep. So this is almost not cool that I'm even bringing you guys there. And he kept doing it. He's like, all right, guys, we're about to walk in. I need you to be really quiet. And dudes, and one of my friends who is prone to enjoying a party, and it was very passive aggressive. One of my friends had it with this guy. So we go into this room, into this little den area. We've got a few drinks. There's some girls with us too, including one buxom beauty who was a wild child from the 90s, who I still see sometimes on social media. She's not married, great person, but she was, for the ages, just having fun. She was somebody who would flash you for the hell of it, just to shock you. So everybody's being quiet. My friend, who is a character for the ages, who listens to this podcast, and his family does too. You guys will know who it is. As we're in there, and he's like, "Oh my God," he's like, we're talking about bands or something, and the host dude is really kind of a DB, totally. As a matter of fact, I get a lot of stories about him, but like he always stories about himself, like, yeah, I used to be in recovery. I was addicted to smack for a while, and then he was trying to hit on the women too. So he's like, then I got really educated. My dad took me across Africa because his company was doing work there, and he was trying to be the center of attention. So my friend slips out of the room unseen, runs into the room where the roommate is sleeping, dives on him, and begins dry humping him loudly. The kid wakes up. Oh my God! What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Kid wakes up in a total panic. As it's happening, the buxom girl, then she runs into the room, jumps on top of both of them. The kid is totally panicked. The DB kid, look, dude, not cool. Dude, not cool. Not cool. Not cool. And he ejects us all, and that's the end of the night. And I still, to this day, I still can't believe it. I told that story back in 95. I said, you got to go out with this kid, because what he did the other day was amazingly offensive, and he's the funnest guy in the world because he's capable of doing something like that. And I remember back in 95, people I knew saying, I'm not going out with that guy. You can't know what but he's actually a really good guy. But, he had passive-aggressively had enough of this dude saying, you guys need to be really quiet. So there you go. Maybe that's technically sexual assault. I don't know, but it was the 90s. It seemed to make a lot of sense at the time. All right, let me get back to the chat, and then we'll wrap it up. Sounds like rainbow tuxedos are in order with BLM cummerbunds. Yeah, no kidding. This pig has main character syndrome. You're not the sun. The world doesn't revolve around you. Yeah, she's disgusting. Splash says, I hope when she's being introduced as the new Mrs., she trips, falls into her cake, then the cake knife goes flying in the air and severs her husband's throat. Well said. All right, to the chat we go. And I apologize for Alice not being here. And even the still picture I have of Alice, where she's looking pretty, I can't even get that working. All right, here we go. Hi, Cyril. How are you? How's Peter? What is Peter doing? You did? Okay, he said he strapped him to the couch. There you go.
Hey, Tom, Alice, Tom from Thomaston.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Alice, it was very interesting you talking about that AI-generated fake scam. Every family should have a safe code for something like that.
Totally.
I got heavy into prepping after the tsunami hit Japan. There was a website I listened to, and the guy's catchphrase was something like, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared. So there's a bunch of things you could do to help yourself, particularly if you got older people in the family or younger people in the family. These scams are coming.
Yeah.
So every family should have a face word. Tom, my
Safe
first one for you was you too can eat pasta over the sink.
Oh.
But that's probably too obvious. So think of a good one for your family.
How dare you?
1 minute.
How dare you? Steve from Merrimack just sent a picture over of this gorgeous pasta dish he had with vodka. I'm telling you, it looks so freaking good that I'm actually upset now. Let's see.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Can you imagine the Shattuck family meeting to come up with some stupid password or passcode?
How dare you?
Because
we need one, dude. We need one. We get too many people on too many machines.
the wife is so worried. I mean, she's Tom, she's a lunatic. I mean,
yes.
To think that someone's going to scam the Shattocks. Why? Because
you can listen if you want to with those headphones, Cyril. I think they're out there somewhere. They're black somewhere. Should be a curly cord. Go ahead, put those on. You're gonna hear Billy from Manchester, okay? There we go.
Hey, Billy from Manchester, can you imagine the Shattuck family meeting to come up with some stupid password or passcode because the wife is so worried? I mean, Tom, she's a lunatic. I mean,
that's Mama Thea Shea he's talking about, by the way. Cyril, what a jerk this guy is, right? Correct.
To think that someone's going to scam the Shattocks. Why? Because you're a big main wire guy now and everyone's going to come after you. But anyways, I mean.
Well, people scam all sorts of people. It's just, why not? I mean, my number's all over the place, and maybe yours is too.
Live your life. Don't be a panicking. Just relax.
I do like panicking.
Don't answer your phone, and you'll be fine. 29 seconds.
There we go, Billy. No, I think the safe word is a good idea.
Hey, Tom, why are you so riled up about that cop in Canada calling it a gun person? I mean,
yes,
you've been masquerading as a straight person for decades.
Incorrect. I was thinking about this. All in all, considering my percentage of attempts to success, there have been some fish in this boat, my friend.
I think you'd be simpatico with their cause.
No.
By the way, that cop, part of the problem, when they asked the identity and they called him a gun person, he could have just said it was a shooter, the killer.
Yeah.
The killer's dead, so nobody's getting sued there. But no, they got to push the narrative. Anyway, Tom, you be you. I'm sure Paul will be proud.
How dare you? How dare you? What do you mean would be? Has he passed? I think he probably has. No, you're right. The reason why they don't just call it the shooter is because they want to teach you a lesson while they're reporting on a crime, because really the priority is teaching you the lesson. And the crime, win some, lose some.
Are you guys in a throuple with this lieutenant governor candidate? Good.
Oh, she's not unattractive.
Lord. Yesterday when Dr. Cheswick left his message about her, the two of you jumped out of your skin. Oh, we know her. We love her. We know her.
Yeah, we actually talked to her, some Republican thing in town a couple of months ago, and she was really cool. And we liked her. She was talking like somebody who doesn't talk like a politician, so I dug that.
Tom was more excited than if he had found 3-day-old tripe in the spoiled section. And Alice was as happy as if she just witnessed a Girl Scout walking with a bunch of boxes of cookies slip on ice.
Oh, my goodness. That is vicious, but that is true with Alice. She does have violent tendencies. Cyril Shattuck could admit that. He knows that I'm the peaceful one in the house, but Mom is absolutely unhinged. That is true, Cyril, right? All right, guys, thank you so much. For those of you watching or who aren't Patreon people, please join Patreon. It's less than a cup of coffee, especially if you get Alice's coffee that she gets, this beautiful Starbucks coffee. But thanks so much. It's been a great week. You're always great. I love talking to you guys on the chat and the chat. We love seeing. It's been great. I'm in for Jerry Callahan tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning, and then the main wire at 4 p.m. We'll see you later. Have a great week.
C'est la vie.